Hey everyone, Dockwell here, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a Bloodseeker build for patch 7.33D, and like I did in the other videos, before I get into it, I just wanted to let you know that I made an in-game guide for every single hero and every single role that they typically play, and not just like the ones where they're popular now, but the ones where they've been popular in the past or they're even viable at all. So the one example I always use is Lion Mid, so I made a Lion Mid guide if you just wanted to use that kind of for fun as a meme. It's not really a super viable, popular thing in high MMR, but you definitely could win with it or play it as like a real thing and not just be absolutely terrible with it. And so I tried to make one for every single hero, for every role that they possibly could play, that it was like semi-viable. So go check those out, give them a thumbs up. I also tried to make them more of like a pub stompy thing, not only what the pros would play, but what would you do if you had an ideal game and wanted to stomp a pub with every single hero in those roles. So I did that. I just announced it like this week, so obviously I haven't really had like anybody upvote it yet, but hopefully I get more people to use them and I can keep this up and keep them up to date. So anyway, like I said, go give them a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about those. Now let's just jump into the Bloodseeker build for this patch. Bloodseeker is probably the other carry that is not like the universal carry or the universal hero carry and the Medusa that is popular right now. The obvious one that didn't really get nerfed very much and is super popular in the pros. I don't think it's as popular in pubs because it is kind of situational against certain heroes, but it is very, very good right now. It's being picked a lot and it has a very high win rate. So we're going to go over how to build Bloodseeker, and starting items are the same as pretty much every other agility carry. It's Quelling Blade, Tangos, Slippers, Circlet, and 2 branches. And this is because, again, you're just going to buy the Wraith Band and the Magic Wand first. This is going to happen for pretty much every agility carry this patch. It's just what you do. It's the best way to build the hero overall. And obviously, like I said before in the other guides, you can buy more Tangos. You could eat a branch if you need to. These are all possibilities. You can not complete the Wraith Band if you feel like you're up against like a Viper or something. All that kind of stuff. That is very possible. You can complete the Magic Wand first if you need to. All those things. But those are small variations, and this is just what's happening in 90 to 95% of games. And then unlike the other 2 carries that we already went over, you're actually going to be building phase boots on this hero, because this hero has built-in attack speed, and you just want to be able to run people down, and having these phase boots to go through creeps and through enemy heroes and just running them down is really, really important, because you don't necessarily have mobility built in. So we took a look at Slark, we took a look at Faceless Void. These heroes have a mobility spell. So this hero doesn't have that. Now you do end up getting a like insane move speed with your passive, but you don't phase through anything. So having this phase is very important if you just want to chase people down straight away. So that's very important, not only in the laning stage, but later on in the game as well. And then you're going to go straight into Maelstrom, because this is your farming item. It also obviously gives you attack speed later, but this is basically how you build the hero every single game. You're always going to be going Maelstrom. First item, it's the main item you build on the hero. And then we go into core items. You can potentially get Mjolnir before you get BKB, but it just depends. If you're stomping the game, you're having an insane game, it's possible you can do that. That's very greedy, though. You almost always just want to go BKB into Mjolnir, because this is what's going to allow you to fight more and just like run people down when you have very, very good like thirst move speed, because you're maxing this out first, which we'll obviously take a look at later. But you're just maxing that out. You're running around. People have low health. You're chasing them down. You BKB. They can't do anything, especially early on. Like second item early, it's just nobody can deal with it. Now, you don't even necessarily need to use it if you're not fighting a lot. Like, it's not like vital that you have to use it off cooldown, but it is one of those things that you can just use it, especially recently. I think a lot of people that have played Dota for a while, like, they don't use their BKB because they're like scared to use it. That's not really a thing anymore. You can just like use your BKB even if you buy it just like instantly to get 1 kill. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. The cooldown's not that bad, and it doesn't like, it only goes from 9 to 6 seconds. It's not a big deal anymore. So getting this first right after your Maelstrom is not huge, like not, it's like, oh, I'm going to waste it. I need to hit this timing and it's so important. No, it's just to be survivable and know you can participate in fights. And then you're going to finish your Mjolnir because it's just so good. And you're going to get Ag's Shard. Now, you could get Ag's Shard, again, potentially before Mjolnir. So this isn't like a straight up do this in this order every time, because this is going to increase just everything about what the hero does. And what the hero does is he just runs in and he just attacks people like giga fast. That's just like what he does with his Q. And you just attack them so fast, you're proccing this Mjolnir, and you have insane move speed. Like, nobody can deal with you, and you just run over. Like, you just man fight people to the death really, really well with this hero, and it's kind of crazy how many attacks you can get, how many procs you can get. And now, since Mjolnir procs and magic damage go through BKB, It doesn't even matter if enemies pop BKB. You can still hit them and do insane damage, and this just helps you with that. It just increases your damage by a lot. And then lastly, for core items, you want to get Basher because, again, you're just hitting them super fast. You're running around hitting everybody, and because you're doing that, you're able to man up on people with Skull Basher. And so those are the core items. You're going to be getting that every single time. Now, the key to this hero, and like I said, I don't think he's as good as Slark or Faceless Void because he doesn't have a lot of options. Really, what the hero does is he goes in and he mans up. So if you're not able to man up with the BKB, if like it feels like you're just getting stunned, chain locked, all that kind of stuff, it can feel kind of bad. So the hero isn't like super overpowered in that way, but like it's not going to be reliable every single game. But if in a lot of games you're going to be able to man up, you just need to play careful, make sure your team's initiating for you. You know, there's a lot of things to consider. But once you are able to man up, once you go in and you feel pretty safe and you pop your BKB, like it's just so hard to deal with you if you're smart about when you initiate and when you go in. And then late game, you have all these options to just make yourself more survivable and more tanky and just doing more damage. So Ag Scepter, not only does it do more damage, but it also makes you tanky because what it does is it damages everybody around you while you're like running in and manning up, but then also it gives you a shield after that. So it's just like, it allows you to do the things you want to do more. So this is pretty much always going to be purchased like right after your core items. Now you don't necessarily have to purchase it. You maybe want the Abyssal first or something like that. Maybe you really need the Lincolns because there's a Doom and all these other spells that I talk about with Lincolns. Maybe that's really important for you to be able to go in because this is the thing that you need and you haven't been able to go in and just like man up on people because you need that Lincolns. So like these three items you can get at any order, but you're probably going to get all three of these items first. And then later, like these situational, or not necessarily situational, like these are the items you want to purchase almost every time probably. You're going to get Butterfly, Swift Blink. This is like the late game, like even more attack speed, even more damage, even more tankiness, that kind of stuff. That is what these are giving you. And that's really, really good. And so you're probably just going to be getting these all the time. In every game. Mostly these three first, but then probably these two later. And that's how you build Bloodseeker. I mean, if you get to these timings where you get all these items, like with most carries, if you're able to get these items, like you are going to smash the game and you're probably going to be in a very good spot. Unless you're like defending against Megas or something like that and the game's just going 60 minutes. And then lastly, we have situational items. You can buy Manta. It's an option. I think Manta, really the main point of Manta, if you're not a hero that just like buys Manta every game to push waves, it's just like, again, you don't want to have to pop your BKB every single time that someone silences you or something like that. So Manta can be very good for that because this hero doesn't really push waves all that well with just like Manta. He's not like a Luna or a Medusa. And then Sanj and Yasha, you can buy. This is just kind of coming back into the meta, so this is an item you can buy. Personally, I don't love it yet. I'm not like saying... I don't think it's bad. Like it used to be bad for so long. So you can buy it. I'm just not necessarily sure of the situations in which you would buy it. I'm not really an expert in that. Like I haven't really bought it all that much, so I don't know how it feels. So maybe watch some replays of pros and see when they're buying it. I think it's just one of these items that's like an early game item that you can buy. It just gives you more of what you want. Like a little bit of everything. It's just kind of one of these like middle of the road. You get more health regen and lifesteal and all that kind of stuff, attack speed, just everything you want, just a little bit of it. But and so it's kind of come back into the meta a little bit, but it's not like the best, so I don't buy it very often because I would almost rather get all these other late game items. Scotty, a very good man up tanky item if you just like, I think a lot of these items that I think you want to buy is just because this hero can have a problem if he's not able to go in. But if you're able to go in, you're having no problem at all, and like it just doesn't matter what they do. You can just buy Scotty, and it's even harder for them to deal with you because now you're even tankier and you just slow them and they just cannot run away from you like ever at all. Nullifier, pretty straightforward. You know, if they're buying a lot of Force Staves and Glimmer Capes and Ghost Scepters and you can't hit people. Silver Edge, really only if you need a break, like you're against some kind of Bristleback or something and you just have to break them, otherwise you can't man up on them. MKB against PA and Wind Ranger, pretty much straightforward, or any other evasion hero. And then Bloodthorn is just, I mean, this is possible. You can use this. It is like an attack speed item and stuff, but I rarely would ever buy it on the hero. And then Refresher and Moonshard, these are like, this could potentially be in the late game item category, but this is like giga late game where you're just like, you know, it's 60 plus minutes, 50 plus minutes, whatever it is, and you're maxed out, and you just need a Moonshard, you just need 2 ultimates, that kind of thing. You need 2 BKBs so you can buy those really late game. So that's Bloodseeker's item build. That's how to think about that. And then we can look at his skill build here. First, we're just always going to go Bloodright. It's just a very good spell early on. Kind of zones people out from the creep wave, secures range creeps. It is kind of like a skill shot in a way where you have to time it right. So I would practice that if you don't really know much about the hero. Just go practice trying to get last hits on range creeps if you can. So that is something you can use there. It obviously does pretty good at harassing the enemy if you can get it on them. If they, it forces them to run away or get harassed. Silence is always really good. It's good for securing runes and that kind of stuff. So it's probably really good to take this level 1. And then you're going to want to be taking your thirst, because this is what allows you to just get more move speed, dominate the lane. You can obviously run after people if they're low. Like if you're harassing them down, then you just get more move speed. You're more survivable. You can run around. It's very hard to deal with you. And then let's say the mid lane is just like a brawl and they're both at 20% HP. That benefits you in the side lane. Like maybe your lane, you don't even have to be doing anything and you can just be running around going crazy, that kind of stuff. And this is like what makes you survivable, etc. So you're probably going to be maxing this out. You do want to get 1 point in Blood Rage because it just increases your damage, but you want to be maxing Thirst out as soon as possible. But like I said, 1 point in this is pretty good. Then we're going to be getting our Rupture every single time that we can, getting our talents every single time that we can, but we are actually delaying that because we want to max Thirst, and we want to max Blood Rage as fast as possible, and our level 10 talent isn't like the best ever. I mean, it is good, don't get me wrong, but you want to be maxing this out because this Blood Rage spell is your level 10 talent, so it's actually better just get this maxed, and then the next level get the talent. And then lastly, we're going to be doing Blood Rage because it's just the worst spell. It's very good early on. You want to have at least 1 point on it, but it's just not the spell that you're going to be using the most. You want to run in, man up on people, be very fast, attack a lot, do a lot of damage, and that's the point of the hero. And then lastly, we'll look at the talents here. So like I said, this Blood Rage attack speed is, that's your Q, but that's why you're going to max it out first and then get this right after. I mean, it's not a huge deal if you get this at 10 and then max it out at 11. It's not a big deal, but a lot of people just max this out first and then get this. Then we have Rupture initial damage. That's because the other one's just not great. Like you're not maxing this out early, and then it's not super reliable for that you're going to hit it every time. And 85 damage is like not that much compared to 8% of the initial damage. Like this is just better, I think, overall. And then 20, we have Rupture cast range because the spell Lifesteal, like that's like cheesy. I think this isn't like the best. Like you don't love this, but it's just better than this. I think that's pretty much why everyone gets this one, because it's just better. And it just more reliably allows you to rupture the target you want, like a Pango or whoever in the fight, because this is like your ult is a little bit of a utility spell on this kind of carry. So it just allows you to do it. And then you get, in the last level, you get the 2 rupture charges. And this just allows you to like help yourself man up on people and also control the fight as well. So now you have this ability to run in, man up on people, but then you're also controlling people a lot with these 2 spells. And the move speed, it's good, but it's not that good. Like I think the real reason you get all these spells, all these ones, is because this is just not, all these kind of suck. Like this is going for like a spell damage kind of way to build the hero, and it doesn't really work reliably. So this just helps you do everything else. And this is also spell damage too. So it's just like, this is the Rupture, the ultimate is just better than these things over here. So that's pretty much how to build the hero. It's weird because he doesn't really have like straight up carry talents that much, but it does allow him to do what he wants to do more in the fight because you're not allowed to run around when you have Rupture on you. So that is Bloodseeker. That is the build for patch 7.33D. As always, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.